right now for quick meals, given that all of us are cooked out at home right now and we want something really nice and easy, healthy. If you're not doing takeout and curbside pickup, I'm with you. I'm the same way. I don't think it's worth the risk. And then the question is like, what do you make, right? And after a while, like I think we all have like our comfort repertoire of things. And so in today's videos, I want to show you a few other new recipes that maybe stretch you a little bit and give you some inspiration. So, I think smoothies is just such an easy, nice way of starting a day and packing a lot of nutrients in. My challenge with most of the smoothies that are out there in the market, a lot of cookbooks and health gurus that promote are just full of sugar. And, and so especially when you have it first thing in the morning, when you do sugar first thing in the morning, you're really giving yourself a sugar spike, and then the faster your blood sugar levels go up, the faster you're gonna come crashing down. And if you have your smoothie, let's say at 8 a.m., that by 10 o'clock you're beginning to get really hungry, anxious, you're reaching out for coffee or something sweet, and so then we go into this vicious cycle of needing more sugar to pick us up. So I want to show you a smoothie that's not gonna happen. Oh wait. Yes, I forgot to put my microphone on, right? Is that what it is? Okay, so a quick adjustment. Can people hear better now? Do we have complaints about not hearing well? Okay. That's all of it. Sorry about that. So in today's smoothie, what we're going to be using is a lot of fats and protein and just a little bit of sugar that's going to come from an orange. And we're going to be using the whole orange. And I'm going to explain to you in a second why we're using the full orange, including the skin, which I know is very unconventional, but just bear with me, we'll get there. This recipe was inspired by, I've traveled around the world and been to over 40 countries. And this is a Moroccan recipe. In Morocco, oftentimes you get a smoothie, avocado orange smoothie. And so they just use avocado, a lot of orange juice, and they add a lot more sugar to it. Boy, is that delicious, but hell, it sends you out on a sugar trip like you haven't been before. So we don't want to do that here, right? The way we're going to mitigate all of this is by adding a lot more fiber and protein and stuff like that. So let's just go one by one. The first thing I'm going to be using is a probiotic cashew yogurt. It's a liquid yogurt. You can use regular yogurt that's not so liquid. But then just add a little bit more water to it later, okay? I'm using the brand Forager. I think they have a nationwide distribution now. You should be able to get it pretty much in most of the stores. And if not, there's so many different companies out there that now are doing it. So I'm using about a cup of yogurt as a base. Now, if you follow me for a while, you know that I do not recommend to use dairy. Dairy is highly inflammatory. A lot of people say, what if I use lactose-free yogurt or milk or whatever? The problem is not just with lactose, even though lactose gets, I know a lot of people say, yeah, but it's fermented, so most of the lactose is gone. Actually, it's not. A lot of it goes away. It gets consumed by the bacteria, but you're still left with something called casein, and casein is a protein, and that's not going to go away. So all in all, if you want to have a healthy lifestyle and bring your body to a place of and reduce all the inflammation, especially during this time right now when you want to have a strong body and be able to not tax your immune system, you're going to bring the inflammation down. So getting off dairy is really fundamental. So let's move on to the next thing, and that's going to be our good old avocado. I'm going to use half an avocado. I don't think we don't need a full one. And so there we go, just scoop it in. I'm making it for one serving. It's gonna be a pretty sizable smoothie, but totally worth it. Okay, next thing is let's add a little bit of ginger. It's gonna give it some really nice zest. So I guess if I was to grate it, that would probably be like half a teaspoon of fresh ginger. All right, coming to our orange. So the reason why we want to be using a full orange, including the skin, and I know it's a little, like if you haven't seen my other videos, you're probably thinking it's a little unconventional, it's probably going to taste terrible. Actually, it's not. And I've made it this morning just to make sure that, I like to improvise, but like sometimes I also, not too much. So the reason why we want orange with the peel is because the peel contains something called hesperidin. And hesperidin, as we are now discovering, is full of, is actually an ACE2 blocker. ACE2 blocker, receptor blocker, means that it blocks the coronavirus specifically from coming into the cell, especially in your lungs, in your heart, and doing a lot of the damage. So I'm gonna start off with half an orange first and just see how that goes. I use a full orange for my smoothie. So, experiment and see what is your tolerance level, okay? The other cool thing is that the rind, so the hesperidin lives in the white part of the orange, okay? So this is right in here. It does not live on the outside. So, but the good thing is about the outside, the colored part of an orange and lemon or grapefruit, or any citrus fruit for that matter, lemon, limes as well, is that it contains another substance called D-limonene, which is a huge liver detoxifier, and it binds up a lot of heavy metals, a lot of estrogens, and evacuates it. So you're just getting so many incredible benefits. And in terms of sugar, that's part of the reason why I love the smoothie, is because this sugar, if you're using a full orange, it's about 9 grams of sugar, which makes it about 2 teaspoons of sugar, okay? So not too bad compared to a lot of these other smoothies that are out there in the market. Now, the next thing I want to tell you about, what I'm going to put in here, is, who wants to guess what this is? If we can do a zoom in, Carol, on our little sprouts here. So I know that you guys are going to say it's sprouts. Yes, they are sprouts, and I can just pick up a couple so you can see these little tiny guys. Tender, smell very sulfury. And so who wants to guess? If you follow me for a while, you probably know what I'm going to be using in this recipe. So those are not just any sprouts, those are broccoli sprouts. And the reason why, so I'm using about half a cup of broccoli sprouts here in this recipe. The reason why I'm using broccoli sprouts here is because broccoli sprouts are extremely high in sulforaphane. And now the studies that are coming out, not studies, but well, they're kind of going back to research that shows that sulforaphane is super effective when it comes to bringing the inflammation down through a pathway called the NRF2 pathway, inflammatory pathway, which is super important when it comes to dealing with the coronavirus right now. So if you are, in our supplement store, we sell sulforaphane. If you can commit to doing a half a cup to a cup a day of broccoli sprouts in smoothies, you don't want to cook it. You can blend it to your salads on top of soups, etc. They're also super easy to grow, right? So if you're committed to doing this every day, then you're covered. Otherwise, you can get it as a supplement form. All right, so a couple of other things I want to add in here, and especially the protein I'm looking for. So the first thing is our Collagen Complete is a collagen that I use every time I have a smoothie. That's a collagen that we have. That's pretty awesome because, and we've got the rights on it, a trademark on it for coming from because the collagen comes from a few different sources. It comes from skin, joints, and tissue, okay, which most other collagens don't do. So I'm just using 1 scoop in here. The other thing is I want to tell you about is one of my favorite products, which somehow has never really been, I feel like I'm not talking enough about this, is our Fiber Complete. The Fiber Complete, part of the reason why I loved it is because we're using something called the acacia gum. Acacia is a tree coming from Senegal. And there is a gum that comes out, it's like a resin that comes out of the tree, and then it gets dehydrated and ground up, and it's a form of a fiber. The incredible thing about this kind of this type of fiber is that studies show that it grows your bifidobacteria, lactobacillus bacteria, right, which is the whole microbiome. The big families of bacteria grows much faster when you have acacia gum in your food, even more so than inulin, right? A lot of people know inulin for, like an FOS and all the different prebiotic foods, but like I cannot do inulin personally because it blows me up, but I can certainly do that. So I'm using one scoop in here because apart from acacia, we also have cranberry seeds powder, carrot fiber, we have a little bit of inulin, citrus fiber, apple pectin, psyllium husk, and flax. right? So you have both soluble and insoluble fiber. Hey guys, really important if you want to have a regular bowel movement, this is going to be super helpful for you to put in some fiber. The insoluble fiber is what's going to like sweep through your colon. And then we also have Fiber RS, which is another product that's super, that's a little bit more popular. And again, I should be talking more about it. Is Fiber RS stands for resistant starch. And I'm almost out, so I'm just gonna take whatever I have. The resistant starch is, you might have heard of like people eating cold potato salads or cold rice, right? And the resistant starch builds up there because there is so much of studies showing the resistant starch. It's just incredible rebuilding your digestive health, and especially butyrine, and which is also found in butter, for example, right? And how it helps to rebuild your digestive walls, especially in tightening up the junction in your gut. So really nice, easy, little scoop that you just add in, and that is it. I'm also gonna do a pinch of salt. I feel like just a pinch. I feel like salt always amplifies the whatever little sweetness that we have in things and adds a little more character. It could be that we need a little bit more lemon juice into this. I don't know yet. That's one of the things about, I'm gonna top it up with some water. That's one of the things about experimenting with these recipes is that you taste and you try and see what you think. Okay. Okay, so a good consistency, not too thick. And the question is whether do I want to add another orange to it or not. We'll decide. I'll definitely add more lemon juice. Or the other thing I could do is I'm just gonna squeeze the, I probably wouldn't do any more orange because it feels quite like the rind is pretty pungent. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of orange juice, the remainder of the orange. But if you have some lemon juice, it could also probably work really well. It just feels like it needs a little bit more of something citrusy. So the beautiful thing about this is that, and this one of the things that I have in my cookbook is a number of different smoothies that are actually not sweet at all. And it takes a bit of skill to develop a smoothie to taste good and doesn't have so much sugar in it. Because the easiest thing to do is just load it up with lots of sugar and everybody's gonna love it, right? But then it's not very healthy and it's gonna send you for a spin. Way better. So there you have it, just a wonderful recipe with some sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts. You've got some good fats from a yogurt. We've got the aspartame and the beautiful D-limonene from the orange. That's going to be helping with the current infections going on. We've got a little bit of ginger to create some fire in your tummy. And we've got some collagen as well as some fiber that's added in here. Really simple, right? And very little sugar. This has probably 4 grams of sugar, so that's 1 teaspoon of sugar. That's all you're gonna be getting from the smoothie. And yeah, it's so refreshing and so filling. And this could tie you over all the way to lunch with no problem. And that's when you know that, that's when you start feeling the benefits of doing something that's low sugar, is that it's not gonna give you, it's not gonna crush you, right? A couple of hours after having it. All right, well, I hope you guys are gonna try this because it's so hugely beneficial and medicinal at this point. Given like everything that we're going through with the corona. And I will see you on another video. Bye for now.